Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how I make this maxi skirt, and yeah, let's get into it. I've gotten a lot of requests on a tutorial for this maxi skirt on TikTok, so I'm going to show you guys how I did it. This order specifically was for, it wasn't for me, it was for a customer who is pretty tall, so I made the skirt long, but definitely feel free to stop the skirt wherever it is long enough for you. So yeah, this is my first tutorial. Let's get into it. So for your materials, you're going to need scrap yarn. I didn't use all of the yarn pictured, but I did use a good amount of it. You could also use one color that you just like. Along with your scrap yarn, you're going to need a 5mm hook, a 6mm hook, 4 stitch markers, but I use bobby pins, scissors, and a tape measure. To get started with the maxi skirt, you want to start with a waistband. I already have a waistband tutorial in my YouTube shorts, but you can use whatever waistband pattern that you like. From your waistband, you're going to chain 1, and I'm using black, so it's kind of hard to see, but chain 1 and add in your new color or whatever color that you're using. If you're using the same color, you can just continue. You can chain 2 and continue with the pattern. And you're going to put 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way around the waistband. Now for this in particular, I used a foundation chain waistband, meaning that I already had 1 row done, but I just added this extra row for the pattern. If you're using the waistband tutorial that's already on my YouTube shorts, you're still going to want to add this 1 row of just double crochets in each stitch. So you're just going to do this all the way around until you reach the top of the waistband again, and I will meet you guys back when I'm done. So to finish off this row, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain that you started the waistband with. So you remember we chained 2, or you chain 1, add a color, chain 1. You're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 1. And now it's time to increase. You just want to cut your yarn, and I'm going to take my bobby pins, or you can use your stitch markers, and I'm going to place them in the edges of the garment on both sides. So you want to make sure that your waistband is even, centered all the way across, and you're going to place your stitch markers in the corners of the garment. This is going to be where you're going to increase, and you're going to increase in every odd row. Now, I know that we just did row 1, but the row that we start increasing on is row 1. This first row that we did is like the foundation of the garment, so we're not counting it as a row. You're going to increase in row 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And in rows 2, 4, 6, and 8, you're not going to do an increase. So you're going to add your color, chain 1, and do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around until you reach your stitch marker, and you're going to place an increase, and then you're going to place the stitch marker in the second stitch in the increase. And I'm going to show you guys this a little bit closer, but you're going to follow this pattern all the way around in rows 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and I will show you guys this closely. So just to show you guys more closely, the increase that I did in the stitch with the stitch marker, and I placed the stitch marker in the second stitch. So again, to finish off your row, you're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 2. Then what you're going to do is double crochet into every stitch all the way around with no increases, placing your stitch marker in the same space in the same stitch. You do not want to get your stitch markers confused or moved around because it will affect the outcome of your garment. So again, when you add your new color, you're going to chain 1 and then put 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around. And I will show you guys more closely what this looks like, and we'll meet you guys back when I am done. So here's what it should look like doing an increase and a no increase row. So as you can see, my increase is in the blue and my row with no increases is in the gray, and I've just put my stitch marker right in that stitch right after I do it so that I don't forget. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side until you're done with the row. Again, once you finish with your row, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, cut off your work and add your new color if you are switching colors. And now what you're going to do is just repeat this pattern. So I chose to work with this beige yarn. I thought it was really pretty and it complemented the colors that I had. And this is going to be row 3. So now I'm going to do my increases and my stitch markers again all the way around, replacing my stitch marker back in the second stitch and 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. And I'm going to show you guys what this looks like when you're on row 3 or on another row other than, you know, the first 2 standard rows. But yeah, just 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around until you reach your stitch marker, and you're going to repeat this pattern for 10 rows, increasing in every odd row and doing a row with no increases in every even row. At this point in the garment, after you've done your 10 rows, the hips should measure half of your hip measurement. If not, you're gonna continue to increase in every odd row and do a row of no increases in every even row until you get a measurement that is half of your hip measurement. Now, if it is half your hip measurement, you're gonna stop here, and I'll show you what to do afterwards. But for me, it was not big enough, so I'm just going to continue to increase until I reach my desired length. So after a few more rows, I had finally reached my desired length, and now it is time to continue with the skirt. If you already had your desired hip measurement after 10 rows, this is where you're gonna continue. So you just want to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around, no increasing, until you reach a length that is long enough for you to walk in the skirt without it being restricting. This may be a mid-thigh length or maybe even like right above the knees, but you really want to try the garment on to make sure that you can walk fluidly in the skirt without it being restricting. So I actually didn't end up doing that many more rows, only because the skirt was already long enough from when I had to do the extra rows of increasing. So just make sure the length is long enough for you. And now we're going to move on to the maxi portion of the skirt. I end the skirt to a desired length, and I'm still going to continue to increase. So I have the two stitch markers on the ends of the skirt, and then I just place stitch markers right at the beginning stitch where you join your slip stitch at the top, and right evenly across from that. So I just counted my total number of stitches in this row and divided it by 2, and I put my stitch marker in that stitch. So I'm going to be increasing in 4 places moving forward to finish the rest of the skirt. So it's 1 in the top when you first start, 1 directly across from it, and then the 2 on the sides. So I'm going to be using a 6mm hook for this part, and I'm going to create a mesh. So you're going to put in your new color, and to be honest, you really don't need a stitch marker at the beginning. You just know to increase there. Double crochet, chain 1, and then skip the stitch. Sorry. Chain 1. So you're gonna put a stitch in every other stitch. Chain 1. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. This landed perfectly. Chain 1, and then I'm going to increase here again. And so I'm going to increase in my increase stitches for every row moving forward. And this is the maxi part of this skirt. I'm doing this pattern because in the original maxi skirt that I made, I noticed that it wasn't really feasible to walk if you just do like straight rows with no increase all the way down. It becomes kind of like a mermaid dress and you can't really walk in it. So adding these increases is going to give you still a maxi skirt, but you're going to be able to move your legs in it. And so definitely keep that in mind when you are deciding where to stop. Okay, so if this happens, you can just, what I'm actually going to do is just put an extra stitch here because I want to keep these even. So don't worry about that. If you have 2 stitches next to each other, it'll be fine. So yeah, what this is going to do is give you walking room, give you space to move your legs and your thighs. So keep that in mind when you are making your skirt long enough before you make the mesh part. I really recommend like keeping it a mini skirt and then making it mesh, because the longer you do this closed stitch, like the more restricting the skirt is going to be. So yeah, having this mesh with these increases is going to give you the space you need to walk fluidly, because like I made the skirt but I don't wear it anywhere because I can't walk in it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. What you're gonna do when you get here, because technically this is the last stitch right here, so I'm just gonna place, just place that one in there, and then slip stitch to the top of the chain 1, cut off your yarn. I want to show you guys more closely what the stitch actually looks like. So as you can see, this is my increase at the beginning. This is my increasing on the side. You have the 2 stitches. Same thing all the way around, right? On both, on the end here and right in the middle. So you're going to chain 1. This is the chain 1 between each stitch. So increase, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And in between each chain 1, you're skipping a stitch. So skip a stitch and just double crochet into the stitch. You can do this with an 11mm hook, and that will give you like a really loose crochet mesh, which is actually really pretty. So that is always an option. But yeah, you just want to keep doing this, keep increasing in the four spots all the way around until you get a maxi length that is long enough for you. So I just wanted to show you guys, I only did 10 rows of the increasing in 4 spots, and now I'm just gonna go around and do 1 crochet in each stitch. I'm not gonna increase anymore, and I'm just gonna continue this until I have the length that I want. Once you finish the skirt, you want to create a chain that's long enough when doubled over to go past the waistband. This is going to be your drawstring that you can tighten to put inside the skirt. So now that you have your chain, you're going to take your 6mm hook. You could also do this with a tapestry needle, but what you're going to do is, I like to have the back of this skirt, this is the back, facing me, and then this is the front. But we're gonna work into the front. So you're gonna find like the halfway part of the front of the skirt, insert your hook, and take your chain and pull your waistband through, your drawstring through. Pull your drawstring through. Then you're gonna leave a tail that's long enough to like do a bow with on the inside, and this is gonna stay on the inside. Now into every other stitch, I just grab it and pull it through to the back, and then pull it through to the front. Pull it through to the back. This is why I said you could use a tapestry needle, because with a tapestry needle, you'll be able to literally feed it through so much quicker, but I don't feel like going to get my tapestry needle, and I don't feel like threading the tapestry needle. So sometimes I just do it like this with the hook, because you'll get it done. So you're gonna keep doing this until you meet back up with your front stitch, with your first tail that you did. And you can bring them closer, you can leave them kind of far apart. Sometimes I'll bring them a little bit closer and just fulfill these last few stitches. But what I do is I just pull this to make them even. I just pull them until they're about even. You may need to pull one side, pull the other side until you get it straight. This is completely optional. You don't have to put a drawstring in your garment. I just like to do it because, especially with crochet, the more you step in and out of a garment, like it'll stretch out, and so the waistband helps keep it secure. So I'm gonna tighten my tails, cut my yarn at an angle, and tuck them in my garment. And yeah, okay, so the last part of the skirt is tying in your ends. So what you're going to do is take your two, you can weave them in, or you can just tie them. Normally what I do is I literally just tie them together and do like a triple or quadruple knot in them and make sure that they're tied really tightly, and just cut them. And I've never had any issues this way. I've literally produced worn, sold garments that are tied like this, and there's no issues. So what you can do is just tie them together. Sometimes you can take like the string from the previous knot and intertwine it with the next string, and literally just do that all the way down. And you're gonna cut them pretty closely, pretty short. And then with ones like this at the top, you can like slightly weave them in. And bring that one down lower. And just, yeah. And that's it. You're just gonna do that all the way down until you're done. And so the same thing we did at the top, we're gonna do at the bottom. This is the last string, the last yarn. And I'm just going to pull it backwards so that when I cut it, the little piece is not sticking out. And just tie that right here. I'm gonna cut these. And you're done. Maxi skirt. Yeah. How cool. Yes. So that is all for this video, guys. Let me know what other videos you want to see from me. Give this video a thumbs up and care instructions. So I recommend washing the garment by hand, only by hand, and laying it flat to air dry. You can put it in the washer to dry, but sometimes like the fuzzy yarns will get really like tangled and matted in the washer and dryer. So I recommend hand washing and air drying only. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.